So, interesting developments coming out of the Liberal Party, and with the floodgates opening because of Justin Trudeau's resignation and the leadership race starting to, I guess you could say, heat up now, we're having some candidates come out into the open space and advocate for their potential leadership bid in the Liberal Party. And one such candidate, from what I understand, one of the first to announce that they're running, um, is this man right here, Chandra Arya. Now, many of you might be asking, who is Chandra Arya? Well, he is an MP of the Liberal Party, of course, from Nepean, Ontario. And Nepean is you can say, suburb of Ottawa. And as many of you might know, Ottawa is a very, very strong Liberal district. A lot of seats there go to the Liberals. Even in bad elections, even in bad terms for the Liberals, Ottawa tends to be quite strong towards the Liberals. But I just wanted to look into Mr. Arya and what he has to say, what he has to offer, and what his vision is for Canada. So let's take a look at this video right here.
Hello, I'm Chandra Arya, Member of Parliament for Nepean. I'm running to be the next Prime Minister of Canada to lead a small, more efficient government to rebuild our nation and secure prosperity for future generations. I've always worked hard for what is best for Canadians. For the sake of our children and grandchildren, we must make bold decisions that are absolutely necessary. If elected as the next leader of the Liberal Party, I offer my knowledge and expertise to do so. We are facing significant structural problems that haven't been seen for generations, and solving them will require tough choices. Our economic growth and fiscal strength are not benefiting many Canadians. Today, many Canadians, especially younger generations, face significant affordability issues. Working middle class is struggling today, and many working families are retiring directly into poverty. We must make tough decisions now, not only to revitalize our economy, but also to ensure a stable society. I have the solutions and the real determination to make it happen. With prudence and pragmatism as my guiding principles, I will make the big and bold decisions needed to rebuild our economy and foster prosperity for all generations. Canada can do better. Imagine a country where our younger generation has equal opportunities, economic freedom, and financial security. Imagine a Canada where entrepreneurs are unshackled and unleashed, driving economic growth for prosperity. Imagine a nation where our children and grandchildren embrace.
All right, I'm going to cut that off a little early. I think we've got the gist of the argument from barely watching him for 2 minutes, and I can say with confidence there's a lot of talk here, quite a bit of talk, but not a lot of substance. And it sounds like he wrote this in about 5 minutes and then got up and, you know, took a kick at the can and said, I'm going to run for the Liberal Party leadership and become the next Prime Minister of Canada. It doesn't seem that a lot of planning went into this, or much thought at all went into this leadership bid. And I'd have to mention that the fact is this man is a liberal backbencher. He's never held a ministerial position, and his intention to run as a liberal, and I mean, taking it from the liberal perspective, what the Liberal Party wants, what the Liberal Party's looking for, I don't think he really embolds any of those aspects. And to go even further, I don't think he embolds what Canada is looking for right now. We are right now in a severe, severe, severe economic position, and what we need is competent leadership. And from what we just watched here, to be nice and put it nicely, not much competence, just a lot of hoo ha and just talking. And I can say that I can see here already there's a lot of overconfidence, overzealousness, and a sense of arrogance. And with us coming out of the Justin Trudeau leadership and prime ministership, I think what we need less of now is arrogance and a false sense of self and ego. I'm I'm gonna go into it a little further. I was just watching this interview here with him, and this is a CBC interview, and I thought I found some interesting points in here that would even enlighten us more about the character of this individual, Chandra Arya.
Explaining them where I stand, explaining to them what is that I'm going to do, and that is going to think that's going to catch attention.
You know, one of the concerns about this particular leadership race has to do with the nomination rules as they exist with the Liberal Party of Canada. This has been a persistent issue at the inquiry on foreign interference.
Yep.
But do you support a foreign agent registry? There is one now proposed by your government. Minister LeBlanc did it when he was public. You support that? You will vote?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
Ministers.
Insurance wants to know.
Stupid ads. Okay.
Just because I'm Hindu by religion and I happen to meet a Hindu prime minister, people are making an issue.
well, no, I think it's because the agents of the Indian government have been credibly accused of playing a role in the murder of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil. And I just wonder why, as a sitting parliamentarian of the government that made that allegation, in the caucus of a prime minister who's been the target of a propaganda campaign by the Indian government to discredit him, you would go meet with him in that context.
David, listen.
So, just to give a little bit of background here quickly, Chandra Arya, he met with the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and I think he met Modi at a very, very controversial time, and that's, of course, with all these allegations coming against India about, having foreign agents in Canada and whatnot. So that's the context behind this clip.
I met Prime Minister Trudeau when I went to India. I did discuss about Canada-India relations, and I did not go as an official representative of India. David, listen, I met Prime Minister Trudeau.
All right, there's the first mistake he made, is that he can't even identify who the Prime Minister of India is. He should have said that he went to go meet with Prime Minister Modi, but he instead said, for some reason, Prime Minister Trudeau. I guess the matter of the fact is that he probably met with Modi more than he's actually met with Trudeau, considering how reserved and how restrictive Trudeau is with meeting his own MPs and even his own ministers.
When I went to India, I did discuss about Canada-India relations, and I did not go as an official representative of
No, I know.
government.
I know,
Yeah.
but you surely you would understand, as someone who wants to be the prime minister of the country, the propaganda value of a sitting parliamentarian of the Liberal government going to meet with Narendra Modi at a time when this is unfolding the way it is
Listen,
unfolding.
every country, we have not broken off the diplomatic relations with India, or for that
Well,
matter.
our diplomats have been kicked out since then, but since your
but
visit.
since then, we still have the diplomatic relations there. And tell me, what's the issue there if an MP meets a prime minister of any other country?
The issue, I would suggest, is that when you're in this conflict,
So you mean to say that no minister should meet any other minister?
the minister should,
Yeah.
and the ambassador should, or sorry, the high commissioner,
Yeah.
excuse me. But why do you feel a non-cabinet level, non-diplomatic, non-briefed member of the caucus should meet with the Prime Minister of India under these circumstances?
Government of Canada never said no MP should meet any other prime minister or foreign minister.
Did you seek permission beforehand, seek
No,
guidance beforehand, seek
because-
clearance? They might have told you not to go,
No,
don't you think?
No. Government of Canada always gives directions when something like this is going to happen. There's nothing there.
Okay, I mean, we'll see.
Oh my God, guys. It's like I'm watching an interview of an elementary school kid or a high school, some nervous high school kid who doesn't really know the answers to his own the questions he's getting, I mean. And it's very pathetic, honestly. I mean, props to the CBC here. They're giving the man a hard time, rightfully so, because there are a lot of holes in this man's campaign and in his background. Of course, he's a very strong Hindu individual, and he met with Modi, who's also a very strong Hindu individual. Some would say Hindu nationalist, but I don't think this guy is prepared at all. I think that he has some false sense of confidence here. And being from the South Asian community myself, I can tell you I've seen a lot of these types. And these are very arrogant and very, 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 very egotistical types who will not listen to reality, but they'll jump into something without thinking about it, just on the basis of their own so-called confidence.
See, I mean, I wonder though, we are going to get the rules for this race, you know, either today or tomorrow, or in the days ahead. I mean, is there
Calculate the amount. I'm there for the race, and I'll continue to be in the race.
a statement you issued today that you want to crack down on the glorification of terrorism and of this conspiracy theory? Do you believe Sikh separatists have infiltrated law enforcement?
In
Do they
fact,
have a place here in Canada?
When I said that, we had the evidence there. We had a serving police officer in that demonstration that attacked the Hindu temple. What else do you
Meet with Narendra Modi in the context that we discussed earlier. Do you think that could hurt you in this particular campaign?
David, let me make things clear. Vast majority of the Sikh Canadians, they are not supporting Khalistan.
Sure.
Very, very clear on that. But they may be afraid. They're afraid of speaking out against the Khalistanis because they're afraid of the violence that has been associated with the Khalistan movement.
Right. Well, some of that violence has been the assassination of people involved in that particular movement, right?
Yeah, from my perspective, I'm going to say absolutely no to this guy. We have to get away from this Khalistani issue. It's not a Canadian issue, and though it has affected the politics in Canada, shouldn't be the biggest and most pressing issue we go through right now. We are facing an economic crisis, an unprecedented threat from the Americans, and a lack of competent leadership in this country. Those are our biggest threats to our nation right now. And this constant bickering about India and the Khalistani movement, it's not very, very pressing to us. We should be focusing on Canadian issues first. That's just my perspective.
This is one of the challenges here. And I mean, having non-binding referendums and having rallies, I know some of the language has been problematic for people who support a fully united India, but you know, we've had referendums for sovereignty in this country with Quebec that we've never cracked down on. I mean, Canada can't really crack down on a non-binding referendum in a temple.
Now, the violence that has been associated with Khalistanis continues today. Only a few weeks back, there's a statement against me using the word assassin, kill, in the statement targeting my name.
Yeah, that is unacceptable in all directions,
Absolutely.
right? There's no question about that. Okay, so just as a final question, no matter what the rules are, you're in. Do you have any caucus support? Do you have a campaign manager? Do you have people working with you on this campaign? Or in your riding, or is it national?
It is national. My team is already working. The volunteers across Canada are already active. I'm in there.
How's your French?
No.
No French?
No French.
Okay, the Liberal Party of Canada is the party of official bilingualism. It's going to be a tough one. I don't speak French either, so you know.
The point is that whether the Quebecers or English Canadians, it's not the language that matters, it's what is that they deliver to them.
But the language matters very much in Quebec.
No. At the end of the day, Quebecers see who they...
This is absolutely delusional. Being from Nepean, Ontario, being the MP for Nepean, Ontario, the riding that is basically bordering Quebec and is in the nation's capital, how can you not know that? Or how can you just glide over the fact that French is not crucial to the prime ministership? The French people, the French culture in Quebec is very, very crucial to them. They really, really value it, and they do many things to protect it. And I mean, I have my own opinions on that, but I'm saying that if you want to run as Prime Minister of Canada, you have to know French. Otherwise, the Quebecers, they'll get disenfranchised, they'll feel disenfranchised, they'll feel that the country is just an English country, and they'll go back into their state of referendums and referendums and push back on Canada and go with their sovereignty pushes. And you know what I'm saying here is that they'll try to push for their own sovereignty like they have many times before. So for a prime minister or a potential candidate for prime minister to glaze over that and glide over it, it's just very unreasonable.
Delivers what? We have English speaking, French fluent prime minister for all the time. One of the things that matters to Quebecers are being a sovereign country, a sovereign republic.
Yeah.
And which
But
prime minister has ever talked about that?
Mr. Arya, if you're going to run for prime minister, I mean, you have to know that the French language matters and French it matters in Quebec.
Trust me.
Profoundly.
Trust me. At the end of the day, for French Canadians and English Canadians, the matters most is that how the children and grandchildren are going to prosper in this country. That is the thing that matters.
Okay, we'll leave it there. We'll see what happens when the rules come out. But Chandra Arya, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, I think that just sums it up pretty well. I think anybody viewing this video will be able to understand. And we're all thinking the same thing. This guy is not qualified for a variety and greatly pressing amount of issues. For one thing, I didn't want to mention it, but his English is not very good, okay? And his priorities seem to be elsewhere, I believe more so in India than actually in Canada. He's more concerned about meeting Narendra Modi and talking about Khalistan than actually talking about any substance about Canadian issues and whatnot. So I would honestly chop this up to a conservative plot to bring down the Liberal Party through putting in goofy candidates like this, but that's just my conspiracy. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and please consider leaving a comment down below about your opinions on this, and also consider subscribing and leaving a like, and as well make sure to share this video with people you know, on people who you believe will be concerned about such issues. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.